to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists. It is my 25th birthday and we are celebrating accordingly. On the docket today is Willow. This movie was released on May 20th, 1988, based on a story by George Lucas and written by Bob Dolman, directed by Ron Howard. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? It's always a pleasure to be here, and happy birthday, homie, today.
Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you very much. And we're celebrating every holiday, you know, as many holidays as we can, and that we feel like, you know, celebrating. We've done Halloween, we've done Thanksgiving, we've done Christmas, we did New Year's, and, you know, me and you are worthy of celebration also, so we're going to go ahead and celebrate our birthdays, and I went ahead and picked a comfort classic for me in Willow. This was a first watch for you, one I've been wanting to show you for a long time, and I finally got an excuse to. How you feeling about it?
Oh, man. Yeah, no, comfort classic is exactly right. You know, this was kind of a post Lord of the Rings even for me, so it got, you know, I felt like it was just an even more comfortable version of Lord of the Rings there. There were just elements of a lot of different fantasy and just classic, just feel good moments in here, and yeah, like I guess the real cry for me, I don't know, I kind of felt like there was a moment coming, but it was at just the very end, just the last embrace. I just kind of lost it. It was very out of nowhere. It all just kind of hit
reunited with the wife and everything.
Man,
yeah, man, that's good stuff. I love me some Willow Ufgood. What a good little guy, man. Yeah, I also really, really appreciate the world they build out here. There's actually there's some lore in the development of Star Wars where one of George Lucas's ideas for it was that the underdogs would be little people like Willow Ufgood, and like that's where that idea spawned. And he was like, maybe I could save that for a later day, and that's when Willow became Willow. He also didn't execute on it until after he met Warwick Davis on the set of Return of the Jedi, when he played Wicket.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's like, we need to get you out of the costume. We need to get you in just you. We need in a movie all about you, pretty much. And yeah, this, I mean, crazy coincidence. It released on my sister's birthday, as well. Kind of a weird birthday connection.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
But yeah, I don't. That was just random there. But I mean, it kind of follows the like Lord of the Rings pattern a little bit of Fellowship, where you kind of have the group of people and you're chill with them. I guess it's kind of later on, not just Fellowship, kind of the whole story. But then you kind of lose the group, and then you're down to just kind of the Bilbo, basics, or Frodo and just the main crew who's going and leading the charge. But even, I don't know, the first half, whenever, you know, that whole kind of makeshift crew was there initially, and the first, seeing them in their village or whatever at first, and Willow, you know, being the only one that's like, yeah, no, obviously we have to like help this baby, like we can't just, you know, I guess he did think about pushing.
They're like, that's a big baby, fuck that. Yeah, no,
in the pit.
And in the pit. Yeah, no, but I do love that, you know, he sees a classic hero's journey. He initially denies it. He's like, we should push it down the river, and then he quickly is like, it's like the human version of this is whenever dad doesn't want a dog, and then he gets the dog, and then he loves the dog. You know,
100%.
That happened with the baby, with the Laura Dannon. Yeah, no, I
Oh no!
I fucking love it, man.
Best MacGuffin I feel like that you can have, and well, not even, I don't know. Is this even really a MacGuffin anymore? Because it is a literal living creature. It's just, it took the Ring of Power and just made it a living baby. I think, I don't know,
made it a person.
It has this other dynamic of like, whenever I'm watching Lord of the Rings, I'm not worried for the Ring of Power. It's just, that's just the thing. It's just kind of there, and they're taking it to Mordor. But here it's like, no, I need the baby to be protected.
Needs to stay safe.
Yeah, everybody needs to stay safe here. Like, this was, I don't know, it added a whole new thing. And man, yeah, just, I guess Val Kilmer too was just really awesome.
What a fucking man! Yeah, there's this movie is really, really good on its own. If it's really, really, it's solid. But what elevates it for me in every way is Val Kilmer as Matt Mardigan. Man, he is just he's so beyond everybody else whenever it comes to presence. I feel like. He almost feels like he's acting in a completely different movie than everybody else is in the best way possible. I don't mean that's usually a negative thing, but it really just makes this movie better. Like, he almost feels like he was pulled out of a different world and plugged into this one. And it works. It just works really well. The talk of him being the fiercest sword, and he's the best warrior, strongest warrior, and all this, and he never has a chance to prove it. And then the way he like flips his sword around and shit, it's cool, man. I love it. He's such a fun character, and Val Kilmer has a ton of fun with it.
And freaking this, I don't know what you call it, the sword that just attaches to your hand, or I don't know if he's just holding on to a little bar, whatever that's called, the little fencing. I don't know what to call it, rapier. I feel like there's a name for it. But that I feel like I just haven't seen that. I don't know why. I was just normal swords. I don't know why I've never seen that. That was just cool to see. And like the action was surprisingly like really cool. Like the cart chases, or like the chariot kind of chase that happened at first was just really, I don't know, intense, and kind of like it didn't seem that there was many special effects there, or like visual effect. I don't know if I guess this is 88. Yeah, I'm trying to think of this is post Star Wars, so I mean, yeah, it is. We have the OT in there, but man, it's crazy to see. Just, I feel like maybe not the cart chase. There was I feel maybe it was him going into having his little fairy dust and having his little love trance, and then escaping with the sled and going out. And then I feel like from that moment on, it was just kind of bang, bang, bang. Like, there was just kind of, it was on kind of from there. And just, I don't know, a lot of action that I didn't expect to be in here. I thought it was mainly just going to kind of be the hero's journey,
adventure, and fantasy.
But yeah, I mean, it was like funny too. Like, I mean, there was just like I don't know, a lot of the laughs I got kind of were from I don't know his name, the wizard kind of guy, what's his name? Let's see, Alwyn, is that right? Aldwin, or Aldwin, maybe. I don't know. The little follow the bird. He throws a bird up in the air, and at first
Never mind, forget the bird. Yeah,
not gonna lie, I didn't really believe in the dude at first. I didn't really know if magic was a thing in this world for real, because the dude was like, "All right, I'll let the bones speak to me," and he's like, the bones say nothing, and and then he just asks,
the bones say this. Yeah.
So like at first I'm like, okay, is this dude just putting on a front? Is magic legit real? And then when he threw that bird up in the rock up in the air, and it changes into a bird, I'm like, okay, we got something.
There's at least something going on here. Yeah.
But yeah, fun.
Yeah, because I mean, like Bav Morda clearly has the evil witchiness thing going on. And then we meet the Raziel, or the woman who is a bird, and then a goat, and then all that good stuff. So yeah, there's certainly a degree of magic here. I love the brownies as a people, the tiny people.
Brownies. Okay, I didn't know they had okay,
that's what they were called. Yeah, the brownies. Even tinier people. Which was absolutely outstanding also. I loved that.
And the one dude that always thought that he knew the way, and then he always got corrected, and he's like, all right, well, I won't admit it, but all right, we'll still go that way. We'll go the way that you said eventually.
Right.
And
I don't know. Their chemistry's funny. Yeah.
And then like, hopping out of the like under the helmet during the last battle. I feel like they were just like hiding under helmet. They come out and all screaming, just the super high pitch. But yeah, I mean, it was just the, I don't know, the perfect kind of, while Lord of the Rings, just kind of the, what are they, hobbits, just the most unsuspecting hero, like person to go on the hero's journey. Yeah. I feel like, and that's kind of always what makes it the best, is like the people who you wouldn't think would be the first to be like, oh yes, no, I will fight, or I will do anything.
You will defeat the evil witch Bavmorda. Yeah.
Yeah. And man, starting off the movie with her, I mean, kind of like killer,
slaughtering mothers.
Yeah, just like gather up every pregnant mother. We're killing or pretty much every daughter if they have the mark. Didn't really seem like they really cared too much. Like before, it was just kind of like, well, if there's any chance at all, let's do it.
Yeah, maybe they'll develop the mark or whatever. Like there's no way to really. That's what, like, I do love the sort of mythology this movie starts out on. Like it's like a prophecy. It's been fated that one day a child will be born and destroy the witch Bavmorda. Like that's sick. I think it's cool that, like you mentioned earlier, that this kind of blends a lot of fantasy elements, and for me, I think it's a really fascinating and fun, like, middle point between, like, the Princess Bride and Lord of the Rings. Like it feels like a mix of those two. It definitely leans Princess Bride a little bit more, but like you said, like the Fellowship and all that stuff. Like there's no fantasy stuff that isn't influenced by Lord of the Rings at this point. So pretty much all of it is going to have an element of it. But yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time I was watching. It was just that it felt like a perfect sort of midpoint between those two.
I like that combination, the Princess Bride one. Yeah, because it definitely has like not that it's not taken seriously. Like every actor in here, like they're taking their role seriously and they're taking like the world they're in, but it's definitely just a lot more lighthearted and a lot more like comfort filled. And yeah, it's not they're not just going for the realistic fantasy, I'd say, and kind of the like Lord of the Rings when those did come out. But yeah, no, it's kind of just nice to now finally have this, and like just the George Lucas and Warwick Davis just kind of connection, and just like that's just really cool, of like just kind of seeing a guy on set. Like I love the actor and director, or whoever, I guess whatever, George Lucas, and I guess just writer on this one. He's not but George is just a weird one into like what to call him. I don't know, in the movies he works on, but kind of the overseer of a movie, or like the, I don't know, maybe producer is kind of just the best word for him. But just to see him in one of his movies, and it's like, oh, I have to make another movie with you, or I don't know how it exactly went, or the process and everything, but just to come up with this story kind of seemingly centered around Warwick Davis, and just going from there. I had no clue he was this young while filming too. Like I
17.
That's crazy. Like that
man was a kid. Well, and that's what's crazy too, is this is 5 years. It released 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Man,
so he was like 12. He was like 11 or 12 being Wicket. Yeah.
And George was like, yes, no, this, like,
George was like, this kid's got it. I fucking love that. I love that. Like, that's so George Lucas of him to like look at this 11-year-old who's in a teddy bear costume and going like, this fucking kid knows what he's doing. And he does, like that's, I don't mean that to sound, facetious, but like George Lucas clearly spotted something in Warwick Davis that he absolutely possessed. And it's one thing that, I'll refrain from talking about it as much as possible, but it must be mentioned that there's a sequel series to this movie that absolutely fucking rocks, that unless you commit a small crime, you cannot watch it.
Well, the large
on
crime
Disney Plus
is that it isn't there anymore. That's the actual crime, is that they took it down.
Truth.
And I feel like the small crime to watch it is actually more beneficial for the, it's for the.
I agree.
And yeah, that's just kind of a sad Disney thing there. But man, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have to check it out now. Like this is after watching it, the small crime might have to commence. But no, like, yeah, this, I mean, I'm all for, I mean, I don't know what the reasoning to take it down, other than money and everything like that. I don't know if anyone were I have no clue, I guess, on the general take of the show. But I feel like if it's this
I mean,
heartwarming,
it was pretty beloved by the people who did watch it. You know, I absolutely adored it. I watched it week to week when it was coming out. Warwick Davis was again fucking great in it. I loved him in it.
Okay. I didn't know he came back. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He was one of the main like sells whenever they were like promoting it. He was like, Warwick Davis is back as Willow, and you know, it had Aaron Kellyman and Ruby Cruz and
okay.
a ton of great performers, man. So like
wow.
I think Joanne Whalley was back and all this. So like and she's awesome. I love her in this. I love the you know, one of those storylines where like that makes this light and relatively, you know, compared to something like Lord of the Rings, not as I don't know what the word is, because serious isn't the word, you know, like it takes itself seriously, but you get what I'm saying. Is her switch, you know, like that's something that, you know, probably commences over the course of multiple movies in a trilogy and stuff, but it's just kind of like she realizes that Val Kilmer might be in love with her, and then they're like, wait a second, we've got mad chemistry, let's run with this shit, you know. I love that choice for a movie like this that's this simple and that sweet, but it is a really funny switch.
Is there an implied or like history with them? Is that is because I'm assuming, you know, if he's this good at as a swordsman and he's just been in cages over and over and over again, like have they just encountered each other? Like has he just always been kind of on the battle, or like on the fight against her sort of thing, or like is there
possible that they've met on the battlefield, as it were, because I mean if he's locked up and the people who came by were like his homies and they're fighting against Bavmorda, makes sense that Bavmorda's forces might be what did him in there and put him in the cage on the road. Because another fun little fact about Willow, the movie, is that it was a big influence on The Green Knight.
Ooh.
David Lowery, Dev Patel.
Yeah.
The first, one of the first things David Lowery, the director, did whenever he was setting up like his story was use Willow action figures in his backyard and built like little sets and stuff. And that was how he wanted to, that was how he decided. And there's like a little homage to this movie in there with, there comes a crossroads that Dev Patel comes to, and there's a cage with a skeleton in it that's like hanging there.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah. Yeah, so he pays his reverence, and that also has Aaron Kellyman and what's the gentleman who plays the Green Knight with the deep voice, and he was also in I'm
gonna look it up.
He was also in Game of Thrones.
It is the Green Knight. The Lord? Would it be the Lord? No, probably. Ralph Ineson. There it is.
Ralph Ineson, thank you.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude's a beast. Gonna play Galactus in Fantastic Four, which is perfect.
Man.
But yeah, he was also in the Willow series, and then he was also in Green Knight, and Aaron Kellyman, same thing. There's a couple little connections between Willow and the Green Knight, which I really do love. But
yeah,
there's
feels like there's a lot of inspiration from here. Like even the Lord of the Rings movies eventually. Like whenever we get to whenever those are made, like they do have, you know, source material to go back to, but just they didn't have a movie.
Yeah, filmmaking. There's a lot of, you know, we talk about that with Star Wars and Dune, where like Star Wars was influenced by Dune, and Dune influenced Star Wars, and Star Wars influenced the Dune adaptations, and so on and so forth. All that good stuff. I think the same could be said for pretty much anything fantasy-wise, where it's like, well, Lord of the Rings initially inspired it, and then Lord of the Rings was in turn inspired by what it inspired, and so on and so forth. It's a wild Ouroboros of inspiration, but I adore this one, man. It always puts a giant smile on my face. I sat here. I think I watched it until like 1:30 a.m. At the end, like you said, they hug, and I'm tearful. I've got a big old smile on my face. I'm like, yeah, this is the good shit, man. I love Willow.
I mean, it's not even, they don't even have to hug yet. It's the right whenever like they just see each other for the first, it's just the faces they make, so just the pure excitement they show. I don't know. It was really them Willow leaving for the first time got me to cry also. Whenever she she hands him her locket of hair, and like I don't it's just so cute. And then he has it like on his belt or just on him at all times, with them. It's just, oh man, I don't know. They just did
It's romantic. It's really romantic. He's her knight in shining armor, and he's got to go on a quest and all. It's classic, man. And I think that and that's the thing, is that it's an extraordinarily simple movie. I think that the production design is incredible. Costume design is incredible. I love Mad Mardigan's armor. Same with Joanne Wally's character. I love I love everything about the aesthetic of this movie. They're really just knocking it out of the park. But
who's the evil skull face?
Fucking badass,
dude. Yeah, that's a sick design too. At first I didn't know if it was a helmet or whatever. I thought that might just be that dude's face, at first,
right?
And I had no clue. And then whenever he took the helmet off, and then his beard, I thought for sure the fur, I don't know, that was like part of the helmet. No, that's just the dude's beard. I mean, it was just overall, that was just really cool, like badass.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I really like Saoirse's design, like her armor and her.
Yeah,
I mean,
Saoirse was fucking awesome.
Like whenever she's laying in bed and Mad Mardigan is kind of swooning over her and everything. Like just the light is like making her just glow. I mean, it's just like
ethereal.
Oh my god! And literally, we had an ethereal figure pop in there. Who actually? Just the one that told Willow, like, no, this is a very, very special baby. She actually understands what's going on. The kind of fairy. I don't know. I feel like she had a name. But
she did.
Blanking. Oh man,
yeah, the one that's like, she chose you and all that.
Coming in,
I feel like she had a long name.
And I'm blanking on the Lord of the Rings name too. The
Galadriel.
Yeah, Galadriel kind of equivalent, but she can like
Sherlindria.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. The names here, I don't know, like Mad Mardigan, Bavmorda. I mean, I don't know. They're very fantasy-esque, that's for sure. But this, I don't know. I liked that ethereal where she could just kind of pop in wherever, take up the whole sky, and just be like, "Yo, yeah, I'm here. You gotta listen to me.
I'm in there." Yeah.
but no, this, I don't know, and even like I guess this wasn't her, but this is a Bavmorda thing, turning everyone just into pigs. Randomly,
right?
Felt kind of, I don't know if it was kind of like an orc or like sort of thing, like curse, but it was just, I feel like she's just pure evil, and I love like it's all for this one kid, all of this, like her whole kingdom, every single resource she has is being poured into just finding this one kid, and everyone is just like, why are we what are we doing? Like even her,
I just work here, man.
Yeah, like her like that's her son and daughter. Right, like the Saoirse and
Skullface guy.
Yeah, like those are her children, or are they just kind of?
I can't tell if Skullface. I don't know if Skullface guy is her son, but Saoirse is.
Okay, so he might just be
her daughter.
The muscle.
His enforcer, yeah.
But I mean, even her daughter is like, no, yeah, this is, I don't know about this. This is getting a little too crazy, and the aesthetic of their castle and her, the
throne room was so sick, and she's got that like Maleficent sort of design too. Like she reminds you of the is that Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah, there was a Disney or like a princess someone that she reminded me of, but I don't.
I mean, it's Maleficent, but I can't remember who she is who she's the bad influence for. I want to say it's Sleeping Beauty, but I can't remember if that's
it is
accurate.
Sleeping Beauty. Yes, it is. Okay, that's way more spot on. The one thought I also had was an Emperor's New Groove.
Eartha Kitt's character. Yeah.
But way more Maleficent over here. I don't know. That's a lot more spot on there. But no, I don't know. I did like that. I think it is simple, but like I love the simplicity of like you have the evil, I don't know, kind of empire, like figure of just
classic good versus evil,
going after one kid and wasting everything, and everyone's just it's just bad. And then you just on the other end, you just have Willow taking a baby, just protecting a baby, and he has some friends and help along the way. But it's like I love that it's just such a daunting task, but Willow just can never seem to let it go. It's just obviously what he has to do in the time, just because he happened across a baby in a river. That's all that happened at the beginning, and just I don't know. It feels the fantasy part of it feels like fate, a little bit at first, and like I wondered if this prophecy was kind of like spun just to take down like this empire, and like because they knew that Bavmorda would be crazy enough to do all of this and waste all of her, resources for two. But I feel like there is more of a magical, like it is like just known that this was going to happen. I don't know, like just this is one of Willow's canon events or something like that. I don't know, where it's just bound to happen. But I don't know, there was like a legitimate mark, I don't know, on the baby, and I didn't know, like I didn't know if there was going to be something at the end where like her, like she like killed Bavmorda, like she was going to use some magic or something at the end. But no, I mean, like it was, she like
and this is why the fucking show was cool, man. It expands on it's a Laura Dannon whenever she's older, which is cool. About like almost 20 years later or something like that, I think is when it's set, but or around 20 years later. But it's good, man. It's real good. One of the main characters is Mad Mardigan and Sorce's daughter, played by Ruby Cruz, and
okay, so they had a daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems right. I don't know.
Sorcia's the queen, but she's like a benevolent queen because she is in line to take the throne and stuff. So whenever her mom dies, she becomes queen and all that stuff. So like,
okay, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like I do want to see everything that comes after this, but also at the same time, I don't like it. Like everything that did happen was all that I needed to happen. I just needed Bavmorda just
Willow.
kind of...
The show ends on the most brutal fucking cliffhanger. You might be better off not watching
really?
it. At this point, no. I mean, like, it was a great idea, and they were going in a fucking great direction, and then Disney was like, "Nah, you're done. You're done."
Dang. Man, yeah, this one ends pretty nice. Like Bavmorda, I'm assuming that she's into. They had a name. It's definitely not the Shadow Realm. Just their equivalent of Hell.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like Oblivion, maybe. Like she was gonna. That was the ritual she was setting up. Is to banish her soul into Oblivion or something like that. And then I just have to think. Like she did it to herself. Like if that's the ritual that was gonna go on, like she is also. She put herself in hell basically through this, and I don't know, whatever happened there, whenever she got sucked up through all the red magic and everything, she's just gone forever. And yeah, this is it Raziel or Raziel?
Raziel.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, just kind of, that was also a funny just thing throughout the movie of just
the rotating creatures that she's becoming.
Just
Willow.
Come on. But I'm a beautiful young lady. And like Mad Mardigan being like, oh yeah, Willow, well, focus now. This is very important for you to do. And I don't know, just all the other animals she saw, but the crow came in handy. That was really, whenever
it did.
To cover up the cries, that was really kind of cool. I don't know, there were just really cool little things like that throughout the movie that were just, I don't know, I haven't seen, like, were just really creative. And it didn't seem to just...
I love that pretty early on, Mad Mardigan wears a dress, and then the rest of the movie he's wearing it as like a skirt. That's incredible. I love that.
Wow.
And it's to hide from a woman's husband, which is even better.
That was...
I love the dude being really into him and being like, what you want to breed?
Yeah. He's like,
tempting, but no.
So.
I love Val Kilmer, man. He's having the time of his life in this role, and this is him and Joanne Whalley would go on to get married in real life. They were married for like 6 years after this, which is cool. They were in a couple more movies together.
Have to. I mean,
definitely a strong working dynamic between those two. They've got great chemistry, even when that chemistry is built on a foundation that's pretty thin, relatively. Like I said earlier, like her switch is which is believable, which is insane.
Yeah.
Because that relationship is hardly explored at all. All you can tell is that they have really, really strong chemistry, and she's just kind of taking a risk on that, which is cool. I appreciate that they can elevate it like that, because they're good together, man.
Val Kilmer, I mean, he was spitting there for a second. The fairy dust was giving him the words, and I mean, she was just, and I love kind of after, he says the most just poetic and everything to her, and then as they're just kind of riding just after the fact on the horse, she's like, well, like how, like, do you still love me or whatever? He's like, no, just, it went away. And I don't know, it's just, he can't.
He was like from the moon to back, and it went away.
Like what dog? Like this, what were you? I mean, she has no clue what he was on, I guess. But no, I feel like he's also just like not accepting it himself. That's why I felt like there was like some sort of history, because it felt so like just kind of right
familiar
for them. Yeah, and like they it seemed like they like hated each other forever, but like hated in air, like it was like they always just had to face each other.
It's Han and Leia,
but, yeah,
Han, Leia in the first movie, where they've got beef, but they're friends, but they've got beef. It's but they're in love. That good stuff. Yeah. It's a classic dynamic.
I guess he is kind of a Solo. Definitely, kind of just the scoundrel that turned good eventually. Yeah, because I mean, out the gate when he is in the cage, like I was. Like at first, it felt like Johnny Depp. I mean, this is post, in the future from Willow, but from what I knew, like it kind of felt like a Pirates of the Caribbean, like Captain Jack a little bit at first, just kind of the dirty, trying to just get anything he can. But then no, he definitely became his own. Like after, I don't know, like I can't really compare him to anyone else now. Like. Throughout the whole movie.
I mean, there's that great moment whenever he's like, no, I'm with the Daikini or what, like, he declares like his fealty to Willow, which is really dope.
Ooh.
It reminds me of the For Frodo moment.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, not as much weight, not the same thing, but when it comes to where its influences come from, I got to imagine that has some sort of bearing on this.
Yeah. I don't know. Peck. I feel like am I saying an actual like offensive word in real life, or is this just made for the movie?
I don't think it's technically a slur. It's definitely a slur within the context of the movie.
I guess,
which is
the point of it. I guess. Well, I don't know. Even if it is or isn't, it's clear that that's what it is. And the idea just immediately kind of given across and they, I don't know, it feels like they just knew, like it's just part of their life, and they obviously didn't like it or whatever, but then him coming around at the end, and declaring to be on their side and have that all behind. I think it was at least a good idea initially to have him kind of say it a lot at first and be, and
I'll be a dick,
yeah, and but man, just I feel
fuck Burgle Cut.
Burgle Cut?
I fucking hate Burgle Cut. All my homies hate Burgle Cut.
Is this
he's the guy? He's the asshole at the village. He's the village asshole.
The leader in air quotes. The one that gets thrown up on, which fully known what she was doing there. If she, I feel she's not just a baby. She knows.
She knows.
Well, she was holding that throw up in until she got to the right person. It was.
She's like Burgle Cut's getting yacked on.
Yeah, I don't know, that initial choosing ceremony of like who's going to go, and you have the people who step up at first, the real ones, and then the high Alden,
yeah.
Say we need a leader to go or whatever, and he got stuck with it. But and then they just kind of.
I loved that, a high Alduin kind of being like, "All right, fuck you, Burgle Cut, you're going with them." I dug that, and I love Volkar, the like warrior of the village, who's like protective of them and all that good stuff. But he still listens to his leader because he's been assigned leader.
I don't know, kind of reminded legitimately when he stepped out. I thought it was Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Like I'm like, is like I don't know, just the hair, like I don't know, he just was so Dwayne, and like it was crazy. Like as I don't know, just nothing offensive, but like couldn't be more opposite of Dwayne. Dwayne the Rock Johnson, just a giant, like a giant. But then here, like he came out looking like a giant. Like that's like I'm like, is that Dwayne the Rock Johnson? But no, it just had the look going. The hair was popping, and he was, I don't know. I loved the crew until they kind of had to leave at the crossroads there. But I don't know. I kind of wish they would have stayed. I don't know what they would have done more, or like what more could have come out of the group. And maybe it is just better that it did get smaller and did seem more kind of insurmountable, and there was less help.
Well, and you get these cool character moments where like Migosh stays with Willow. He refuses to leave his side. He's his homie, and then Willow eventually tells him to leave because it's getting too dangerous and this is his mission. And like it allows for us to appreciate our heroes a little bit more whenever they can show their courage like that. Which is definitely a strength of this movie. But man, I just really, really enjoy it. When it came to picking a birthday movie, as it were, I know we've been discussing the months to come and how you've had a tough time deciding what you're going to do for your birthday. But this isn't, I call it an all-time favorite, but whenever we get to whenever we decide to do the top 250 movies project we've got eyed in the distant future, like it'll be on there. Won't be super fucking high by any means, but like it's just one of those ones that has always filled me with a great deal of joy, and it is one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah,
but I wanted to go with one that felt like home almost. Like there are a few that we've done before that it reminds me of, like Superman. Superman 78 is always one that I compare to this in terms of the way it makes me feel. Just that joyful, happy, like 70s and 80s classic nostalgic shit. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I had a moment of realization of because I'm still running through options to pick for my movie, and I realized I'm like, well, a lot of my favorite movies have actually come from just pod coverage. Like just actually like before the pod, I would only watch comic book movies. Like that's all I would watch. That's all I cared for, really. And maybe the huge blockbuster that would come out at the time, but even then, like I didn't really watch a whole lot, and it's due to the pod that I'm like watching all these movies and that I like them. And like my favorites, or Interstellar or Truman Show or The Matrix, or just kind of movies that we just have covered already. So it's like I feel like that's kind of my pit hole, or just kind of pitfall right now, is just kind of like of why I'm struggling to find one, is that we've covered actually a lot of
we've done so many great
like
movies,
all-time favorites, and I don't know, it feels like I don't know, nothing just quite has landed. I wish I had like a Willow, or just like a something that I would just I know kind of is my thing.
Well, and then like one that occurred to me was Tron Legacy, but we obviously already did that and shit, so
so I don't know, maybe
it might be time to whip out the original Tron.
The OG. It might be time. I think that might be the fallback if nothing else comes through. I mean, Tron's Tron for me. That is definitely the most kind of home ish feeling, even though it's in a computer and literally not on Earth at all.
Literally not home.
No, it's I don't know. I'll still, nothing's quite solidified still, but man, no, this one felt, at least it did feel right for you. Like, and I haven't even watched it. I just heard you talk about it for so long, and like how much you've loved it and how comforting it is, and then just to watch it and be like it.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah,
good stuff.
It was very neat. I don't know, just a super very easy watch, and this is in somehow like more rewatchable than Fellowship, or like more like this is so much easier to turn on, I feel like, than
it's just shorter, like that helps. It's an hour and 45 minutes, you're done in half the time. Like it's I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Fellowship, but man, does it have a rewatchability on it that I don't get tired of.
Yeah, I don't know, the parts of Fellowship that like legitimately kind of or maybe some inspiration was pulled from were like the wide kind of landscape shots. Whenever they were just traveling, like some of them were really beautiful, and like
it's pretty gorgeous, man.
The one I took down specifically for my favorite was there was a kind of a waterfall shot, and it was kind of going down the waterfall and just kept zooming back and kind of coming out, and then you see Mad Mortigan and Willow just kind of eating or just taking like a little rest stop or a little break, and they're eating at the bottom of the waterfall, and it was like that was beautiful. There's
one pretty early on where this movie's little fellowship is on the march, and they're there's a giant landscape in the background. It's gorgeous. They're silhouetted against it.
I don't know, this very, like, it seems like a lot of it was just very practical as well. Like this I'm
pretty sure there's painted backgrounds too. I think that's something that this movie was employing a bit.
The good old matte paintings. I mean, he learned that one from Star Wars. Yeah, it was cool. Like some of them, I could tell a little bit that it was a matte painting, not in a bad way, but then others, like, it took me a little bit. I'm like, oh shit, that's a matte painting. I'm like, holy fuck. Like, at just to think of how big those are, and like just how long just one of them takes to make, and just, I don't know, is that just one dude hunkering down and going ham, or is that like a team of people? Like, I wonder.
I don't know. Usually it's one fucking guy painting. That's just, but
I don't know. I don't know. It feels like we just don't have that anymore at all. Yeah, no one's making matte paintings for movies anymore. It's all just so easily done digitally. But this, I don't know. I wonder if they're out there somewhere. Like all the Star Wars ones, I feel like there's a lot of them that got lost to time. But I feel like there's been so many that have been auctioned off for.
There's got to be something out there.
But the landscapes were awesome. The sets, like every castle they were in, or every it was perfect, like, for the world. And the whatever creature, I don't know, like Willow's starting to use magic a little bit. He kills like one of those demon I don't know what the
trolls.
Yes, that's right, the trolls. Oh my god, yeah, those are. I see why he's scared of them. I mean
they turn into those 3-headed fucking
like
disasters.
What? And what is that? What is that, like, always, or did he put some spell on him? Because he, like,
I think the magic he used had a bad reaction.
I mean, hey, he did the right thing. I feel he was like, ugh, get this shit out of here. He like kick it off the bridge into the water, and then it just kind of cooking up and
sprouts anew. That's gonna be a problem. But
man, I don't know, kind of it did just take wild turns here and there, and like just was fantasy as hell. And then, I don't know, gave Mad Mortigan the chance to really shine there. He's facing the whole army and ready to take him on, and then the monsters behind him, and they're all like scared, and he's thinking it's him, whatever, and he sees it, and he's like, okay, no, I'll join you guys. And then he's just standing there for a little bit like, oh wait a minute, I'm really not supposed to be here right now. And then the fight ensues. Then, I don't know, it was just like Princess Bride. I feel like that was a good kind of analogy to bring up, because it is like, it has the heart to it still of like the classic core fantasy or hero's journey story beats that you want, but then also at the same time it's super lighthearted in the sense of like, I was never truly worried for like Mad Mardigan, or like I didn't think he was truly
right. It's not that kind of movie. It's a different breed. But how about the run 80s Lucasfilm was on with Empire Strikes Back, and then Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then Return of the Jedi, and then Temple of Doom, and then Howard the Duck, and then this, and then The Last Crusade. Insane run by 80s Lucasfilm.
That is, I mean, the birth of just, I don't know, fantasy, like, for them to be taken seriously, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of just other older fantasy type movies like this, or like, was Star Wars really the time where people were like, okay, I guess we're doing this now. Like
I mean, we had Peter Pan, we had animated movies prior, like I'm trying to think, there's some pirate movies from long ago, Captain Blood and shit like that. Like and then there were serials that, Flash Gordon and all that stuff, but those weren't taken seriously. That's why I'm like, it's. And there were sci-fi films, but they were considered schlocky, War of the Worlds and all that stuff. So like, it's complicated. I think Star Wars was definitely obviously a pivot point, and Lucasfilm's role was obviously a pivot point. But
I feel like the only closest thing to fantasy or like kind of this realm was just kind of all the horror or kind of like the Frankensteins or the Draculas or kind of the occult.
Yeah.
And now it's, I don't know, let's do the positive, the brighter side of the fantasy world. You still have the evil, with just an evil queen and an empire, sort of thing going, but have everything, all the better parts of it. Even like I'm just scrolling through just all the different people who are in here. Eric, I feel like it was the one guy that I'm like,
Eric.
Who else? What is he in? What is this dude? Gavin O'Hearley. I don't know. That's a name I don't know how to say. Oh, Superman 3. Was that it? He's Brad in Superman 3.
Oh, yeah, he was Brad. Brad in Superman 3. I remember who Brad in Superman 3 is.
Brad.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember him.
Superman 3 is definitely a movie. But
memory hold that one hard. I think that's the one with Richard Pryor, right? Yeah, it is.
So, yeah.
One where he wears the big cowboy hat and gets drunk in that office. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I guess nothing on his filmography is ringing the bell like I thought it would.
He's the faux Lex Luthor.
Oh.
He's the one who wants to be Lex Luthor, but is just clearly not Lex Luthor.
Okay. I feel like that. I mean, that has to be.
Why
what
is he
it
credited as just fucking Brad? It's definitely that. But
Brad. Yeah. I mean, I don't know his little here where he's the true knight, and he tells Madmartigan like, oh no, you don't have any honor, blah blah blah, and like you stay in that cage and rot, and
oh no, I was wrong. Sorry, he wasn't that guy. He was the loser from back home. The loser from back home that Richard Pryor gets fucked up with and like bamboozles.
I don't know.
In that office, whenever he's got the giant suitcase full of alcohol and all that stuff.
Okay,
that's the guy he's fucking over. Is Eric?
Wow. Yeah. Good old Brad. Good old
Brad. That's why Brad's credited as that. I was like, I don't think he's that.
But man, I don't know. I even like every little character here feels like they have like a good little moment. Like his death, he kind of goes out how he'd want to. I feel like as a knight.
Eric's a real one.
Being like, win the war for me, and then it kind of gives Madmartigan the kind of like, all right, now I gotta lock in. This dude's not living for much longer. And then
any influence on Eric and Eric from
Eric. Oh my god,
from the world of Westeros.
Oh, it has to. Oh, come on. I mean, it is Eric with an A. Here,
right.
I mean, I feel like it's only right. That's my headcanon from now on, is that Eric was inspired here, but no, I don't know, that final fight too was really sick. Like the whatever that sword was, but then I mean, I don't know how many times a dude got stabbed, but the final one, the little step on the sword to angle it up and then pull him down on it. That I don't know. Yeah. It was just I don't know, a lot of really cool, just creative things in here that just I didn't expect. I don't know, like the action was the most surprising. I think I didn't expect to have as much of it, but I don't know. I kind of surprisingly, like I feel like the first half of the movie was just at least more comfortable. Like it was just kind of in their village. He's putting on a little magic show, or like they're in the tavern.
Yeah, and you're meeting Madmartigan and all that stuff. Like there's a certain classicness to that definitely hits. I really do adore that part of the movie. But yeah, I'm with you. I think that there's a lot to love here, and I do love it dearly. But I don't think I have much else to say on it.
It's simple, I guess. Not in a bad way, but it is just I don't know.
No, it's a simple flick. Simple flick.
But
I think with that, I'll do the plugs. We can rate this thing, and we'll get out of here. So first, I want to talk about the giveaway, the Cinementalists giveaway. We've been talking about it the last couple weeks as far as our top 100 of the 20s series is concerned, but we are currently trying to give away Paris is Burning on Criterion Collection Blu-ray, Certain Women on Criterion Collection Blu-ray, and a Letterboxd patron membership, which gives you the ability to change posters and clone lists and, all that, see your stats and all that good stuff. It's a lot of fun. So there will be 3 winners. And, could be the same person who wins multiple things. That's why you got to listen to this. So what you got to do to enter the giveaway is subscribe to the Cinementalists on YouTube. And then you have to download at least one episode of the show wherever you listen to podcasts, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, anywhere else. Download an episode and subscribe to the Cinementalists on YouTube, and you are entered with one entry. And you also have to follow me at Colton Robertson on Blue Sky and DM me proof when you've done this. That's if you're really, really interested. It's mostly a Blue Sky giveaway, so if you're not on Blue Sky, you should get on Blue Sky if you want to participate. Now, for additional entries, every episode downloaded is an additional entry. And at this point, we should have 33, 35. This should be our 36th episode. So you can have 36 entries 37 entries as of yet, just off of the basic instructions and then downloading every episode. And then beyond that, if you like and repost that post on Blue Sky, you get an additional entry. If you @a friend in the replies, you get an additional entry. So you can get 40 entries right now today if you do all of that. And frankly, right now I have to guess that with 40 entries, you'd probably walk away with 2 Blu-rays and a Letterboxd patron membership. It's possible. It's possible. So you got to be there on Blue Sky to enter this contest. And we will happily announce the winners on March 3rd on our episode where we're going to do a little bit of a Oscars after show. We'll talk the results, the winners, all that good stuff as that happens on March 2nd. So got that to look forward to. Yeah, we're doing a lot of fun stuff. Like I said, the top 100 of the 20s is ongoing. We are done with 4 parts. We're done with 4 parts. We are I think we're entering the top 50 if I'm not mistaken, or we're getting close. We might not be there. The 90s, the 80s. 70s. Yeah, okay. We will be entering the top 50 next week. We're releasing 2 episodes a week. It's a lot of fun right now. We're having a great time. So you gotta check it out. A lot of great movies from this decade, and we are discussing a lot of them. We are currently doing Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast. Skeleton Crew concluded earlier this week. We'll miss it dearly. We had a lot of fun talking about it. It was a great time. Or might be early next week. I can't remember, one way or the other.
Concludes next week.
Fulcrum.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
Yep. Skeleton Crew will conclude, so you got to be there. We will be discussing that next Wednesday. Super excited for that. Death by Television. An episode came out today on Creature Commandos. We wrapped up that show. We discussed it halfway through. We discussed it at the end. So you got to go check that out. That should be available wherever you get your podcasts as well. But yeah, leave a 5-star rate and review, download and subscribe wherever you might be listening. Go ahead and enter that giveaway. Hop on Blue Sky and enter that giveaway. We would appreciate it greatly. And yeah, with that, let's rate this movie. How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10 about Willow?
Let's see. I guess it's always nice to, go back and compare. We have really high numbers for the movies we have so far. The lowest we've given anything is The Two Towers at a 9.25.
That's crazy.
And here
it's the lowest we've given anything
on Sentimental. I guess here just starting with the Fellowship or starting with Lord of the Rings. I guess with on this sheet, recent kind of givings. But even Indy, I mean, I think even with Indy, I don't think we dipped below a 9 at all there either. So I think for this feels like either a flat 9. I'm either like 9 or like 8.75 is kind of where I feel like I'm kind of floating right now. And not like when in the number. That's why I always just like compared to the Lord of the Rings. Like I feel just there's just things that are on a different level there. But this, it has every element of a movie that I don't know. Like the comfort of this movie elevates it a whole lot. Like just it has every story beat you want. It does look good. While it's not a poorly made movie at all.
By any stretch.
So I think, do I give it the benefit? Do I give it the up? Maybe I don't know. A 9 kind of does maybe feel right. I think I will give it that little boost over the 8.75.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I'm gonna give it a 9.75. My rating's gonna be high because I do love the movie. I can't quite give it the 10, the surefire 10. But I can get pretty close. I love the movie a great deal. So this was kind of one I knew going into it what I was gonna give it and all that good stuff. So easy number to throw at it for me. But that's a strong one.
That would be a
strong, probably our biggest discrepancy yet.
Yeah, I guess I didn't. It was just really like to challengers, and because it now with the overall, it's barely just right below a 0.1 below challengers. Challengers was a 9.5 and this 9.4, and that I feel feels a little bit right.
Feel good
to
about
me.
that.
And it's the ratings I feel like are all just. It is like almost individual. Like I feel like every movie has a different rating itself, but like I don't know, it's just rating a movie and just the letterbox stars.
Pretty arbitrary. It's pretty arbitrary, but it's fun. I like doing it. I like trying to give my feelings, my intangible, completely bizarre. There's no way to really quantify it. I like to quantify it.
Just in the bones.
The
bones.
That's fun.
Like reading
that's fun
the
stuff.
bones do tell me something, and they're telling me
the bones tell me 9.4. Yeah, but man, I had a great time. Thanks for covering Willow with me on my birthday here.
Of course.
But we'll be back next week with a couple more installations in the top 100 of the 20s. You gotta be there. It's something you must do. But I think with that, we can conclude this episode. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, I will consult the bones.